This Is Your Museum Speaking is an animated short film from 1979. It's written and directed by Lynn, and there are definitely some aspects of this I liked, but there were several things that I didn't like. This is about a museum watchman who is going to the museum at night for his shift as a watchman, and when he's there, the museum exhibits come to life, and it starts off with the muse, and then we have different paintings and artifacts, and as a concept, I love it. Big fan of Night at the Museum films. The concept really, really fascinates me. And that part of it was okay, but I found, as a concept, it was okay, but I found the execution to be really boring. I don't think there was anything interesting that the exhibits had to offer. I didn't like the characters that they became. I didn't think that was very well done at all, and considering that's kind of the whole point of the story, it wasn't that great. There was one point where one of the exhibits, I can't remember which one, commented that they might know their great-great-great-great-grandson or something to that effect. It was definitely helping to connect the past with the present and saying, yes, these are artifacts in a museum, but these are examples of real life, of things that had happened in the past. And obviously, that's one of the great things about museums. So there were a few tiny bits of dialogue here and there that I thought were okay, but in general, I didn't think it was interesting, or at least as interesting as it could have been. The other thing I hated, often really hated, was the animation style. Sometimes it was okay, but we had a lot of close-ups, and to me that felt like I was kind of almost straining to see things more clearly. It was very fuzzy and not very enjoyable to watch at all. We have quite a nice colour palette, we have a very varied colour palette, but the actual specifics are so fuzzy, and I just felt like it was a really uncomfortable experience because I was straining to see what I was looking at, and that didn't satisfy me at all. So the concept is good, the execution is for the most part pretty dull, and the actual animation, while okay at certain points, was really uncomfortable, but with a nice colour palette. So I didn't like it very much. The voice acting is great, really love the voice acting. I don't know who voices whom because that's not listed on IMDb, but the voice cast does include Don Arioli, Gerald Budner, Bud Knapp, Peter MacNeill, Janet Perlman, Sanderson, and Greg Van Riel, but I'm not sure who voices whom. If anybody has any information on that, please feel free to share. Do I recommend it? Only if you really love the idea of this, because I feel like it doesn't really tick that many boxes, and I feel like it was a bit of a disappointment. But if you love the concept, you might like bits of it. But for me, This Is Your Museum Speaking definitely did not meet my expectations.